Hi YouTube, my name is Heather and I love anti-MLM content here on YouTube. Today I'm really excited for us to watch a quick video from Eric Worre's GoPro Recruiting Mastery Conference in 2020, where a panel of MLM CEOs are sharing their words of wisdom with us. I'm really excited to watch this video, and as always, please let me know what you think about this down below.
I think that everything that we do in corporate is to make what you have attractive and to protect you. So we operate from mutual trust and respect.
So your MLM CEO just wants to protect you and make sure you have all the tools you need to succeed. I forgot to mention, I don't know who any of these men are. I don't know what company they're with. It's just a clip on Eric Worre's YouTube channel. I would love it if it said their name and their company, but oh well.
And so I use this metaphor that we're both mamas and papas. We have to love each other. We have to love our field. We have to love those people that send us the emails at 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. We have to love on everybody.
Yes, when you're a CEO, you have to respond to emails at any moment of the day. I think that's a fair assumption to make. And as a CEO, it's not your job to love everyone, but I feel like it would be your job to care about everyone's success in the workplace, only in the workplace, not in their day-to-day life, because in any other industry other than MLM, you have a separation between work and home. But we all know in MLM that distinction, that boundary does get blurry.
And we have to protect. We have to protect like a papa, like a father, like a grandfather, and that's my role and that's your role. And so that's the second thing I would say. And then the third thing I would just say is that we're in this together. I mean, that's it. We're in this together, and it's not I go, it's we go. And ego is the voice of fear. And we've not done anything in our history to create distrust, and just respect that. So.
Yeah. Do you find it weird that he has to say he hasn't done anything to create distrust between his distributors, I'm assuming, and the CEO or the corporate staff of his MLM? I feel like if you have to say we've never created distrust, there's probably a reason there, and you probably have. You're probably sketchy. And what do you think about his comparison between his role as an MLM CEO and a mother, loving on everyone, caring about everyone, and a father being strong and protecting everyone? What do you think? Do you think MLM CEOs care about their distributors and want to protect them? No, I think that CEOs of companies, they create the MLM model for their products because they know it's a lot cheaper to advertise. They know that the pyramid scheme MLM business structure is set up for the corporate staff at the very, very top to make lots and lots of money. For example, Beachbody was not an MLM from its inception, but then Carl Deichler started the MLM business model in his company. And of course, he said, oh, we noticed that clients of Beachbody were sharing their results and helping others through the program. So we thought, wow, why wouldn't we just make a system where our clients can be paid to help others? On the surface, it seems so altruistic and charitable, and he seems like such a good-hearted person for just wanting to help people get paid. However, we know that the vast majority of people in Beachbody are making minimal profits. And it's a genius business model for the MLM CEOs at the very top, because all 400,000 Beachbody coaches have to pay their monthly coach fee. Vast majority of them are going to be paying their 90 personal volume points to qualify for Success Club. And all of these coaches are going to be strongly, strongly encouraged to purchase all new releases or VIP early access for all the new fitness programs. They're going to be purchasing more than just the 90 PVM products every single month, most likely, especially if you are above, I think it's Diamond, it's 100 personal volume points. But every single coach is at least 90. And it's genius because just on the revenue coming in from the coaches meeting their minimal requirements, Carl Deichler's raking it in. He's making loads and loads of money. So it's not some altruistic charitable reason that Carl Deichler decided to make his company an MLM. It's because he saw the business model and how it would benefit him individually and the top corporate staff of his company. What do you think?
Yeah,
thank you.
Love that. Well, let me just first start by saying that when I was on the field, as a top earner of many companies,
Which companies? Why do none of these CEOs and MLM coaches say which companies they're with? It's impossible to find. And who are you? Eric, put the names of these people, please.
one of the things that I noticed was it was a very easy life. It was a life where I could go recruit, be on the beach, recruit, be at a party, recruit, be somewhere else, working, doing meetings. That's fantastic.
Notice how he says it's such an easy life. He didn't say sell products, go to the beach, sell products, go to a party. No, because in MLM companies, the products don't actually matter. The products are a disguise for the fraudulent business structure in which the investments of people lower in the pyramid make their way up to the top of the company. And we've talked about how that works in Beachbody probably a dozen times on this channel already.
Corporate wise, now we are like 24/7 grinding every night. And I bet you every single person in this panel right now, they don't sleep as much as, I sleep 3 hours a day if we're lucky.
Isn't it interesting how when he said he was at the top of his companies, it was easy. Like he didn't have to do that much, just recruited a little, then went to go party. But then the people in his downline, in the middle and the bottom of his little pyramid, they would have had to work constantly. And we all know the residual income in MLM only comes when you're at the very, very tip top of the company and you have thousands and thousands of people beneath you. And unfortunately, only a tiny percentage of people actually make it to that level. And Beachbody likes to say that you can make residual income from product sales alone. And we know it only comes through recruiting mass amounts of people. What do you think? And he's talking about now how, and in the corporate side, it's a grind, it's nonstop. And in my opinion, he's trying to relate his extremely privileged position as a CEO of some MLM company, because we don't actually know what company it is. He's trying to be more relatable to the distributors who are at the middle and the bottom of the pyramid who have to work constantly to make minimal profit.
But the reason for that is that we want to make sure that you guys have the tools and you guys have a company in the future. See, one of the things that you don't understand as a distributor that I want you to understand is that, let's just say our company or anybody's company here, we have every single life. I feel I have every single life and family on my shoulders. And if I fail millions of, well, actually thousands and thousands of people and people they can serve. So
So I think that kind of sentiment is where the idea comes from in Beachbody and all MLMs, that you have to invite to the Beachbody opportunity because you're going to change people's lives. And if you don't invite, then you're failing all the people who will be drawn to you and who will join under you, and then all the people who will join under them. And so I think that's where the narrative comes from, because this big CEO of some MLM company somewhere is saying that if he doesn't do his job, he's failing all his distributors' families, and then the people who are served by his distributors, and so on and so on and so on, which is bull crap. We know that's not true. Like, he's not working to provide a good, reasonable living for his distributors. And if he was, any MLM CEO, they would be providing at least a minimum wage, a minimum hourly wage for all their distributors, a guaranteed pay every single month, and then they would get paid commissions and bonuses on top of that. That's why I know that this narrative is bullshit and is fake, because, sir, if you actually cared about the well-being of the families of your distributors, you would pay them a reasonable living wage, at least minimum wage plus commissions. What do you think?
We stay up every single night making sure that every error is fixed, everything is that, and we do get the calls. But guess what? We have to draw a line where we can say, okay, this is valid and this is not, because we want to make sure that you have a future here within these companies, that your grandkids can have a great life, that your great grandkids can have a great life.
That's also a big narrative too. When people are wanting to quit their MLM, the distributors are taught to come back and say, well, you can't have a legacy for your family. You can't ensure generational wealth if you quit. You don't care about the lives of your children and your grandchildren and your great grandchildren if you quit. And we know that the tiny percentage of distributors at the very, very top of these companies are going to make that kind of wealth. The vast majority of people are going to be going into debt, or they're not going to make any money. Again, bullshit.
So you have to understand one thing. This is what we're growing is not just a business, it's a family. And if you can understand that, just that little bit, you can defend it like it was your own, like it is your own, and defend it with everything you can, because every time you jab at it, you're destroying a brick that is holding up the fort, that is holding up these companies up in the air.
That's a little bit weird. So I think that translates into anytime you might question the company, anytime you might see that something might not be super ethical, or you're wondering why you're not getting paid to match your efforts. You're wondering why, say, you reach this big, amazing rank in your company, but you're still making minimal profit. Anytime you do that, you're jabbing at the foundation of your company, and you questioning things even just a little bit. I'm not saying like going out on YouTube and sharing with millions of people your experience. Anytime you question just a little bit, anytime you have a little bit of negativity because, say, you're wondering why you're not making money and you're going into significant debt, you are destroying the family and you are destroying the foundation of your company. What do you think about that? I've said this before. I don't like the idea of thinking of your workplace as your family. I know a lot of people have really close friendships and relationships with people at work, and they might consider them their family, and that's wonderful. However, for myself, I think for lots of other people, their work friends are their work friends, their colleagues are their colleagues, and then you go home and you have a life outside of work. Unfortunately, clearly with him, you can't have a life outside of work. You have to defend your workplace with all you have to ensure that the foundation stays stable underneath it. What do you think?
Love that.
So that's all I have for today. I just thought it was super interesting to hear from MLM CEOs for once, and not just the distributors. I always talk about the perspectives of distributors, but their narrative, what they teach their downline, of course, comes from the CEOs and the high level corporate staff from the top, and that is funneled down to the top distributors, and it's funneled down to their distributors, their downline, all the way to the very bottom of the pyramid. That's all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time. Bye.